Hey dancers, welcome back to our channel. I'm Julie and I'm the owner and one of the instructors here at Broche Ballet, a ballet school just for adults in Denver, Colorado. Today we are going to be talking about the waltz turn. We already have a video on waltz turn on our channel and it is super popular. You all love that video, and so we're doing another one with a couple of updated techniques for learning the waltz turn. We teach this to all of our dancers here and we're always learning more and better ways to teach it, so we're going to teach those to you today, including a back view of the step, which is one of the very top requested things about this video. So before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, share. It really does help us out. We love it when you watch our videos and really keep on supporting us. Waltz turn is a complicated little step, but once you learn it is super fun and pretty and dancey. I'm going to teach a version that I love of it. There's many different arm versions. There's a couple of different versions with the feet, but we're going to start with a super basic that I love to teach. Let's start off with the basics. A waltz turn has 6 steps in it. We're going to think of it as 2 halves. The first half is going to be, we're just going to say these words together, then I'll break it down. The first half is step, brush, step, step. Second half, step, brush, step, step. You'll notice how with step, brush, I'm only counting that as one thing because we're going to count it as one together. You're only transferring your weight one time, so it's only one step. We step with one and brush with the other, but it happens simultaneously, so it counts as one. So again, all 6 of those steps. Step, brush, step, 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 brush, step, step. So let's talk about that footwork. Then we're going to talk about how to turn, then we're going to talk about the arms. So the footwork, we start generally in B+. So B+ is standing on one foot, the other foot kind of in an attitude back that we lower down to the floor. We're just going to keep our hands on our hips to learn these steps. So let's talk about what direction we're going. So we're going to do this from the back as well, but starting facing you, I'm starting, this is the right side. I'm doing the right side when my right leg is in the back in B+. We're going to turn to the right on the right side. So we're going to start here. We're going to go step, brush. That goes down and brush. That counts as one thing. All of that counts as one thing. Step, brush. Then we've got 2 and 3 are both steps. Step and step. You'll notice I haven't turned yet. That's on purpose. That whole first half is facing the first corner. We don't turn until the second half. So let's add on that turn. We go step, brush, step, step. Now we're going to turn to the right. We're going to turn and step on our other leg. We're going to turn, step, brush back, then step and step. Let's go through that one more time, talking about the details of that turn. So first half goes step, brush, step, step, then we turn. We make an entire half turn. So now I'm facing where I just was. Make a whole half turn there, and then my next step is going to take me halfway around back to the front of the room, and then my final step is going to take me back to where I started. So the second half of that turn is a half turn, and then a quarter turn, and then another quarter turn, and that's going to add up to a whole turn. So a lot of times we'll feel like we should start turning in the beginning, but then we're already off. We need to wait until the second half to turn. So we go step, brush, step, step. I haven't turned yet. This is the second half. I turn to the right, step, brush, step, step. One more thing I want to point out here before I change the camera view is that we are going to be stepping on every other leg. We're alternating every single time. So we're going to go step on the right, left, right, left, right, left. So the first time I step brush, it's on my right foot. Step brush on the right. Step, step. Second time I step brush is on my left. And then I step around. And then you can see I could start on my right leg again because in 6 steps, we're going to end up right exactly where we started again because it's an even number of steps. We've got 6 steps. So we're going to end on the right leg, which means we could keep going into that. So 2 halves. Step, brush, step, 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 brush, step, step. Yeah, 6 steps. First half doesn't turn. Second half does the entire turn. Let's change the camera view so you can see what that looks like from the back. All right, so we're going to do all 6 of those steps here from the back view. Let's try it out. So we start in that B+. We're going to have our arms on our hips for simplicity. We're going to do the first half. So step, brush, step, step. Turn to the right. step, brush. Now I'm facing you halfway around all the way to this side. Now I could keep going. I could go step, brush, step, step, and keep going all the way around as many times as I wanted. So let's try that again. And if it helps you to actually point where you're going, you can do that too. So you can start like this, and you can have that as like a signal of which way you're going to go. So you could go here, and you could go step, brush, step, step, follow your hand, keep following it, so that you have this arm to help you know which way you're turning, because sometimes when we're getting ready to turn, it's a little bit tricky. So as we learn these arms here, I'm going to keep the back view on for just a little bit longer so we can learn these arms. So we're going to just start with the one arm that's doing most of the motion. So we're going to start with the right arm. We're doing the right side. We're turning to the right. And we're going to use the right arm, everything to the right. So I'm going to leave my left hand on my hip so I'm not tempted to use it, because on this one we're using both our arms and it's hard to remember which one to use. So I'm going to leave this one here so I don't worry about it. So we're going to go, the arm is going to go step, brush, and stay up. Then it's going to present and stay there. So we're going to go like this. We're going to go step, brush, step, 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 brush. So you see my arm came from the allongé up there, and it came down like I was giving you a gift or gesturing to you as my dance partner. And then as I come around, it's going to come to first. Then step, brush, step, step, and gesture. Step, step. Let's try that again with just that one arm, with just the right arm. So we're here in that B+. We've got step, brush, step, 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 brush. Step, step. The right arm is doing this work of doing the presentation to the dance partner. If you're feeling good with that, let's add on the other arm. So my left arm is going to be hanging out to the side for most of it. Don't forget about your right hand, focusing on this hand as we're doing this, so that you remember that your right hand does the gesture. So if we're here in B+, arms in a low demi-second, we go step, brush. Remember the right arm, turn to the right arm does the gesture. As I gesture, you'll notice my left hand also copied the gesture. This is a stylistic thing. Like I said, there's so many different arms, but I like this one where both of them gesture. And then they both come through first. Again, thinking of the right hand does the gesture, and then coming around. Let's try that one more time with both of the arms. Thinking of the right hand, because we're on the right side. So we go step, brush, step, 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 brush, step, 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 brush, step, 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 brush, step, step. So while we're doing this waltz turn, you have a lot of choices that you need to make. My biggest tip for this is to minimize the number of choices you have to make. When we're doing footwork and we get confused, we make bad choices about which foot we should step on. So what I mean by minimize the choices, with the arms, we were talking about the right arm. So when you're here, think in your head, visualize your right hand as the main driver. Don't think about both your hands equally. The right hand is the main driver and the left hand is backup. So on the right side, you're thinking about the right arm, and then you know that the right arm would be the one that would do the gesture forward. If you think about both of your arms are doing something and then both of your arms are presenting, that's when we can get ourselves really mixed up, because we have to remember which arm goes front and which arm stays to the side. A lot of times what will happen is we'll be here and then we'll bring our arms in because we're not sure what to do, and then we have to decide which one to put back out. That can be really difficult if you lose track of which arm you're thinking about. So I would recommend keeping your arms out. So keep them out, thinking about your right hand, and present to come around, so that you're really clear on the right hand, turning right. All of that is not a choice. It's just an established thing in the beginning. The second time you don't want to have to make a choice is which leg you're standing on. So I don't recommend that you get stuck on both of your feet. What I mean by that is if you ever find yourself with equal weight on your feet, what I mean by weight on your feet is like equal pressure. When you have weight on your foot, you should feel pressure on your foot on the bottom of the ground. If you're ever here between your feet, then you have to decide which foot to pick up and put back down again. But if you're on one foot, then it's obvious that you would have to step on the other because it's going to come down. You're going to fall in it. You need to step on the other foot. So since this is kind of a walking step where we go right, left, right, left, right, left, we want to go from one foot to the other. So what I mean by that is this. I don't want you to go step, brush, step, and stop. Now we have to decide which foot we're going to pick up and step on, and now we're stuck. If you were remembering back to the last step, you're like, I don't know which foot I just stepped on. So making the choice of the left foot can be hard. So while we're learning this, I know we're going super slow. It's also hard when you go slow because you can get stuck on what foot you're picking up and stepping on next. So it does help to go a little bit quicker once you get the hang of it, so that you're going from the right to the left, to the right, to the left, right, left. And I want you to watch it one more time and notice that I never have both my feet on the ground at the same time. I'm always on one or the other. So watch one more time. The right foot, left, right, left, right, left. So it might look like they're both on the ground because I'm kind of sliding them on the ground and pointing them, but I don't want them to actually be on the ground both at the same time, because then we have to decide to pick it up and turn to flip. So I'm going to show you this whole thing again from the front view so you can see what that looks like one more time. So we go step, brush, step, step, turning right, right arm, step, brush, step, step. Then I could keep going, step, step, and so on. So all 6 of those steps don't change on the left side. Yes, there is a left side. Let's learn the left side real quick. So yes, there is always a left side. We're going to do those same 6 steps here. We're going to walk through them real quick just so you can make sure you see it on the left side, because sometimes it's hard to flip it in your mind when you're watching a video. So all of that stays the same, except every time we said right, we're going to say left. So when we're starting left side, we start on our right foot with our left foot in B+. Let's start with the hands on the hips first. We do step, brush, step, step. Now I'm turning to the left. Step, brush, keep turning to the left. Step and step. Let's go back and try that again. So again, if it helps you to have your hand out to keep following it, you can do that. If we're on the left side, you step on your left foot first and you turn to the left. So step, brush, step, 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 brush, keep following your hand. Let's try to add the arms. We're going to do the version with one hand on the hip. Left side means left arm does the gesture. So we go demi-second to start. We go step, brush, step, step, left arm gestures to the partner, step and step. Then I could keep going after that if I wanted to keep on doing more waltz turns. One more time like that, then we'll put both those arms together. So we start demi-second and we go step, brush, step, 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 brush, step, step. Let's put all those arms together in one shot. So we start with both the arms. Don't forget, we're thinking left arm, we're thinking left turn, we're thinking left in our head. So we go step, brush, step, step, left arm gestures, step, step. And then I could keep going with that left side if I wanted to. Sometimes if you're someone who likes to think about turning towards the front or the back of the room, you can think about that as well. So if I'm here, I'm going to turn towards that upstage direction or towards the back of the room. So let's try it with that idea in mind. We go step, brush, step, step, turn towards the back of the room, then keep going around. So that's another way to think about it, depending on what you like to think about for directions. All right, dancers, that is all for this video. I hope this helps you figure out the waltz turn, such a fun and pretty dancey step. Until next time, do make sure you like, subscribe, share, and give our videos a watch. New ones every single Friday. Take care.